Gladiator, the first one. Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, welcome to What to See Next, a show where I recommend movies and other media for you to watch. So Gladiator 2 is still in theaters at the time of making this video, and if you have seen my video on it, you know that I was pretty into it. I thought it was a good movie. Is it as good as the first one? No, of course not, but I wasn't expecting it to be. Of course, it wouldn't be here without the original classic Gladiator, which came out in 2000. Both of the Gladiator films are directed by Ridley Scott. However, this one stars Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix, and Connie Nielsen. Gladiator is the story of Maximus, a decorated general who is chosen to become the next emperor. The son of the current emperor, however, is mad because he thinks that his dad should pick him instead, with him being family and all. As a result, the general is forced to become a gladiator to avenge his family. I hadn't seen the first Gladiator movie until very recently, and I think it is a great film. I didn't grow up with it by any means, but seeing it as an adult and all these years later, and I will say that it has endured the test of time. This is certainly one of the genres that aren't made as much anymore. It seems like Hollywood has strayed away from the sword and sandals genre and favors more indie low-budget films. Don't get me wrong, I love those movies too. At the end of the day, if the budget is big but everything else about the film is bad, the film is bad. With that said, there's something about films like Gladiator that is both very epic and yet cozy to me. Don't know about you, but they're the kind of movies that I would go to see by myself during a matinee on a Sunday growing up, a day where I could just enjoy myself without school, and seeing Gladiator for the first time recently invoked all of those feelings, a feeling of comfort and coziness despite all of the big scale action and drama in the film. Growing up, I would see posters for this movie all the time but never got around to seeing it. There isn't much I can say in regards to Gladiator that hasn't been said already. Ridley Scott was really firing on all cylinders while making this movie, and you can tell. It blows my mind that the guy who made Alien, a movie about isolation with like 7 people in it and a monster, then went on to make Gladiator, a movie with a lot more than 7 people. He has a certain way of commanding the film that just enthralls you. I can't imagine the difficulty of filming with this many people, so many background actors, a lot of costumes to go around, and the sets and props have to look like they are from that period. I can't even host a group gathering. With Ridley Scott directing, the world of Rome becomes alive. You can feel the city breathing and talking to our characters through time changes, background actors, and how ancient the buildings feel. I don't know how much of it was CGI or practical, but it looks like all these buildings were already existing and the crew just came in to film them. The cast is phenomenal in the film. Russell Crowe is amazing as Maximus. He certainly knows how to make a fight scene look convincing, but I also think that he is a great dramatic actor too. He makes you care for Maximus's well-being, which results in us rooting for him. He is very sympathetic in the movie and you feel bad for the guy and you hope that somehow in the end he will reach a point of catharsis. Although he is a very great general at the beginning, seeing him removed from this title makes him feel like an everyman, a man who just wants to be at home with his family, which everyone can relate to. Connie Nielsen carries a lot of weight in the movie. She has to play a character who has to put up a front to protect her, but also the people she cares about. The whole time I was interested to find out how her character is gonna put out fires and take care of problems while still being safe and favorable to the emperor. Nielsen's acting is very good and convincing, and she has moments where she shines too. A lot of it comes down to how she has to navigate this world of scheming and brutality. The emperor in this movie is played by Joaquin Phoenix, who is very famous right now. This is such a great villain. I find it interesting how easy it is for us to feel bad for him. It's somewhat gut-wrenching at the beginning when he performs the monologue in front of his father after hearing about the decision. Of course, all of the things he does in the movie are evil, but the thing is that this guy wants to be adored by his people so badly, and his internal conflicts are what make him such a well-written villain. He's not just evil for the sake of being evil, he's evil because he wants to be loved. The dichotomy is what makes it interesting, and the fact that the character is played by Joaquin Phoenix is just chef's kiss. I would like to take a moment to talk about the score. This movie's soundtrack is done by Hans Zimmer, who also wrote the music for Pirates of the Caribbean. When you listen to this soundtrack, it's amazing how much of Pirates you can hear in its DNA. I think that the Pirates soundtrack is a lot more iconic, mainly because I did grow up with that soundtrack, but you can tell that Gladiator was kind of the blueprint for what later became Pirates of the Caribbean. If you have never seen Gladiator in a while or want to catch up before you head out to see Gladiator Gladiator 2, then this movie holds up surprisingly well. It is a classic for a reason. It's crazy how after more than 2 decades, this movie is still very resonant and effective. Let me know what you think of the movie in the comments below. If you grew up with it, I would like to hear about a favorite memory that you've had with this film. Liking the video and subscribing to the channel would help me out greatly, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace.